So the Gen Con event list is finally dropped, and with over 21,000 events this year, we are looking at an extremely packed and extremely exciting convention. With the event listings finally being released, I thought it proper to go back and revisit my old video and maybe make some corrections and have some more in-depth explanations. If this is your first time watching any of my videos, hello, my name is Kelvy, this is my channel, and this is going to be a video as part of my Gen Con guide series. I have other videos that go over using the housing block and how to navigate the exhibit hall, signing up for activities that aren't necessarily games, and some other videos as well for you to check out if you haven't seen them yet. I also recently did 2 live streams, one on Twitch and then one on YouTube, about me going over the event list and adding some events to my wish list in hopes of getting tickets for those, so you can go check those out as well. So let's get started. The first step for event registration is making sure that you have a badge. You are not going to be able to register for any 2025 Gen Con events if you do not have a badge. If you have yet to buy a badge for Gen Con this year, I would recommend going ahead and doing that. The 4-day badges are expected to sell out in early to mid July, and then the single day passes are going to sell out, I'm sure, by the time the convention comes around. They sold out last year, and they will most likely sell out again. Like I said, you will not be able to register for any events at all if you do not have a badge, so that should be the first thing that you do. Just a quick note on wristbands. If you are attending with a child 10 or under, they can get a free wristband, and that will give them access to the exhibit hall and any of the events in the kids events activities, or whatever it's called, category as far as Gen Con events go. Now, this is not going to give them access to any of the standard events. So if you were planning on playing any games with your child that you're bringing, they're going to need a full badge as well as an event ticket for that event. So once you actually have your badge, not physically around your neck because they're not going to ship out at least until June or July. Once you have your badge set up and you're sure that you're getting one, your next step is going to depend on when it is you are registering for events. If you are registering for events before they have become available, so that'd be May 18th at 12 Eastern time, then you're going to want to start wish listing your events. If you are registering for events afterwards, you can pretty much skip this step entirely. There are actually a couple of ways you can browse Gen Con events. The most popular method is going to be directly on the Gen Con website, and that would be gencon.com/events, I want to say. However, there are a slew of third-party tools you could use to browse the Gen Con events. One of the most popular ones is going to be EventDB, and the URL for that is gencon.eventdb.us, and again, I'll put that right up here so that you don't get it wrong. That's the way that I prefer to browse for events. I just think it's a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier to search for events that way. Plus, if you're a super organized person, there's even a way to add these events to a Google Calendar so you can kind of visualize how the events are going to look. Now, the EventDB website is only for browsing events. To actually wish list or register for an event, you do eventually have to go to the official Gen Con events page. Fortunately, the EventDB listing for every event is going to have a link that goes directly to that event on the Gen Con events page. I know that I'm saying the words Gen Con and the words event a lot. Just stick with me. So I'm going to do a quick little demonstration on actually going to EventDB and adding an event to our wish list. Okay, so we start by going to EventDB. The URL for that is gencon.eventdb.us, and looking for an event that we're interested in. Let's say that I'm interested in playing Solar Gardens, the new Darrington Press board game. What I'll do is I'll go over here to board games, and I'll find Solar Garden. Solar Garden is over here somewhere. Solar Garden's here. Yep. I can see that there are 20 tickets, or not 20 tickets, but 20 events for Solar Gardens. And I'll find one that fits my time slot. I happen to know that I have nothing on my wish list from Thursday 12 p.m. to Thursday 2 p.m. So I'll click on that event as well. And this is going to list all of the information for that event. I'm going to go ahead and click on purchase, but while we're here, this is where you would go to add it to your Google Calendar. So click on purchase and it's going to open the official Gen Con event listing. And from here, you're going to be able to go ahead and get tickets for those events. I am going to pick up 4 tickets, 1 for me and then 3 for my friends. Obviously, I'm blurring their information out for privacy reasons, but rest assured, I am getting 4 tickets and adding those to my wish list. And click on Add Selected Tickets to Wish List. And there they are. You see this little notification. It'll say that they've been added to your wish list, and you can go there and see, scroll down to the bottom, that it's been added. New events do get added to the bottom of the wish list. I'm going to keep that there probably because that game's not super important to me. But if you scroll up to the top here, this is where you're going to go and click on the submit wish list for processing button when the countdown timer is up. Once you have your wish list all set up, your next step is going to be waiting for event registration to open, and that glorious day will be May 18th, which is a Sunday, at 12 Eastern Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, or noon as most people would call it. You're not going to be able to register for events before that time at all. When you go to your wishlist page, you should see a countdown that is counting down to noon Eastern Time on May 18th. And once it becomes that time, there will be a button that becomes clickable, and that's how you're going to go and submit your wish list. You want to make sure that you submit your wish list as close to afternoon as possible. So if I were you and I was trying to get good tickets for events that were highly popular, I would make sure that I click the button as soon as it becomes clickable. Now, you could, if you were, let's say, nefariously minded, you could use some HTML magic to go ahead and make that button clickable, and you could click it. I would really not recommend doing this. Any registrations that the server receives before noon of registration day are going to be counted. And if you are caught having submitted your wish list before event registrations open, you get placed in the bad boy queue, or timeout, you could call it that. But you're going to be put at the back of the line. Your wish list will not be processed until everyone who legitimately submitted their wish list at the correct time has theirs done. So you should not do that. In fact, I would really recommend making sure that your clocks are in sync. The only clock that matters in this situation is the one running on the event server. You want to make sure that your clocks are lined up, and if you are familiar with web development at all, you will know just how easy it is for clocks on web pages to get out of sync. So here is my suggestion. Open up your web browser at 11:59. Refresh the submission page at 11:59:30, and then click the button at 12:01. Not 12:01 as in 12:01 the minutes, 12 o'clock and 1 second, just to make sure that you're not submitting your wish list until you are sure that they are open and accepting submission. It's happened before. I've seen people say it, that they have gotten placed in the timeout queue because their clocks were out of sync. You don't want that to happen to you, so just make sure that you are 100% certain that you are able to submit events. So once you are able to click submit, your wish list is going to be placed in a queue. Once it is your turn in the queue, your wish list is going to be processed from top to bottom in priority order. So the first event on your wish list has priority over the second, over the third, over the fourth, and it goes on. What it'll do is it'll look at your first event and it'll determine whether or not there are tickets left for that event. If there are, it will get however many tickets that you selected, and it will put them in your cart. If there aren't any tickets left for that event, it will skip it and move on to the next one in priority order. Now, this does mean that if your wish list has any overlapping events as far as the time slot goes, if you already have an event scheduled for a time slot and you have another event on your wish list that conflicts, if it already has a ticket for you in the cart, it is going to skip this conflicting event and move on to the next one. The wish list is not going to allow you to get any tickets that overlap with each other. The vast majority of events do not allow for any kind of overlapping. The one notable exception that I will put forward is the Games Pass, or the Games Library Pass. Those will actually let you overlap because it's not expected that you're going to spend 8 hours in the games library, but you could. If that's your jam, you should totally do that, and I'll see you there. So once your wish list has actually been processed, any of the available tickets have been placed in your cart, and you can go there to go ahead and check out. You are able to remove tickets from your cart before checkout, so don't worry too much about locking yourself in. Once these tickets are in your cart, you have 2 hours to check out before they are removed from your cart and thrown back into the pool of available tickets. So once you have checked out and you have your tickets, they should be viewable on your schedule page. That's a new page that'll appear on the Gen Con website. Any events that use paper tickets are going to be either mailed to you with your badge if you chose the mail-in option, or they will be available for you at will call when you go to pick up your badge at the Indiana Convention Center. Now, once all of the wish lists have been processed, you do not have to go through this whole rigmarole anymore. You should be able to go directly to an event listing and buy a ticket for however many people you are friends with. One for yourself, another for yourself, and then however many are available. You can totally just go in there and buy them without having to add them to your wish list. This will be later on in the day, like I said, once all of the wish lists have been processed and once the server isn't being hit so hard by the 70,000 plus attendees that are going to be trying to get tickets at the same time you are. So if events aren't a priority for you, or you don't plan on doing any wish listing, you could have skipped this step entirely and just waited until later in the day on May 18th, and you can just add tickets directly to your cart and buy them like that. Now, if you didn't get the tickets to the event that you really wanted to go to, do not stress too much. Events are going to be added and deleted from the Gen Con events page right up until the day of the convention. So it's possible that if you missed out on one session of a game, another one will be added later on that you can get tickets to. Plus, people are always changing their schedules and adding tickets back into the pool, so don't be dismayed that you didn't get into the event. If you have a little patience and a little time and keep a watchful eye on the events page, you may still be able to snag those tickets. So there you have it, your roadmap to tackling the Gen Con 2025 events list. So now it's your turn. Go ahead and sign up for some events. Go get a feel out for some new games, go play some games with some friends, and have a good time. You can also not do events. That's totally up to you. It's all about how you want your Gen Con experience to feel. But hey, what events are you the most excited about? Let me know down in the comments. Good luck with getting all of those coveted tickets, and I will see you at Gen Con.